In this latest vinyl news, we're looking at a brand new vinyl imprint. We're looking at a box set and a dinky 7-inch single, which I'll get to right at the end. But to begin with, the new imprint is called Ear, as in ear, Music Classics. Ear Music Classics have one or two names behind them who are fairly familiar, such as Edel from Germany, Edel. One or two of you might be familiar with that particular label. Also, Eagle Rock. Eagle Rock has been going for many years. So you'll see their names at the back. But what you want to look out for is Ear Music Classics. Ear Music Classics. Okay? Ear Music Classics. What you've got in an Ear Music Classics album, and there are 200 planned. I've got 9 to show you for now. Is each one is a gatefold, 2 or 3 discs, depends on the album. There's a CD involved. CD is included, free. It's limited, it's numbered, and it's very nice. I've got 9. I've put, just because of time, I'm going to show you them all. 3 of them I've taken the cling film off. Otherwise, if I did them all, this video would be like 3 hours long. So I'm going to show you 3 in a little bit more detail. But let's show you the first 6 covers for now with the shrink wrap on. Okay, so we've got Rory Gallagher, live at Montreux. That was apparently a 2006 release. We have Jethro Tull, Living with the Past. This particular edition was released 2002. Next up is Blondie Live. This edition was, when was it? Well, that's why I looked, because I wondered if there was, there's been 2 editions. There has. 1999 and 2004 was re-released. And here we are again, in a nice gatefold. We have ZZ Top, live from Texas. And this particular one was originally released 2008. With the London Symphony Orchestra. This particular edition was last released in 1999, going back a little bit now. And this edition is also on 3 discs. This is a 3 LP collection. Rainbow, live in Japan, March 19, let me just double check, 1984. From 2000 and 2004, we have Yes and the House of Blues. And this is a 3 LP collection. Now, I've taken the shrink wrap off this particular edition, so let's have a quick look inside. Okay, so despite it being 3 LPs, what we've got is one side of the gatefold will contain 1 LP and the other side of the gatefold will contain 2 LPs, and I'll quickly show you those as well. There's the first LP. Whoops, let me get my fingers out the way. Really, that's not good at all, is it? There you go, there's the first one. Nothing on the back, just a bit of marbleization there. And we have another disc, some nice artwork, and a track list, which is very presentable. And we have the guys in action, and on the rear of that, again, just a marbleized effect. All on black vinyl, I might add. Next up is Gary Numan, and this one is live at the Shepherd's Bush Empire. That's Gary Numan. Again, the cellophane is off. So we have a track list at the rear, 2 disc edition, this one. Originally released in 2004. So let's have a look inside. Inside is an essay. Let me go the other way. There you go. So we have an essay, which is quite nice. Bit of reading while you listen. And then the actual inners have some symbolic artwork. Same both sides really, as is the other disc. But on the back of this one is a bit of tour memorabilia, I suppose you could say, the past and what have you. And just to prove that they do exist, here's the 2 CDs. And on the rear, there we go. And finally, The Who, live at the Isle of Wight, a classic album. This one was released initially, well, it was 1970 originally, but 2009 it was reissued, and very nice reissue it was. This one is, I can sort of vouch for this one, it's an excellent release. So that's the front, there's the back, Now we have the band doing its thing. The inners, well, we have Roger, being Roger, as only Roger can. And this particular edition is over 3 LPs. So again, we have little images of the band here. And you know who, being a naughty boy on stage. Here we go. On the rear, we have some reading matter for you, which is all good stuff again. Again, black vinyl. Right, at the end of this particular news, what I'm going to do, and I want you to let me know if you like this or not. I'm going to do a quick mastering test, mastering pressing test, just to check out the sound quality. I'm going to pick the 3 without the cling film, again, just for brevity. And I will do the same with the box set when you see that in a second. I will do the same for the 7-inch. If that's something you like, if you want me to do that in the news section, I will do that in the future. But you've got to tell me, okay? Next up is the Rockabilly Revivalists, the Stray Cats, and a box set based on their career from BMG. And it's a very nice set as well. So let's have a little look at that. Here's the box top. There you are, quite evocative artwork. And inside, what we've got here is the the commercial album. So here's the debut. You remember the single, Runaway Boys? That was the hit single. Well, they had numerous hit singles, but that's the one that I always remember. Gunna Ball. There's the guys on the back there. Rant and Rave. And a very nice image on the rear. We're talking 81, 83, that sort of span of time for those particular albums. The lovely addition we get in this particular box set is another album of what's called Rare Cuts, and here it is. There you go. So you've got rarities, B-sides, things like that. You also get this beautiful book. Look at that. There's some gilding there, which is lovely, and gold. Some more on the back. Let me just sort of tilt it, see if we can catch the light. And inside, we've got some interesting rare images and text, and I'll just bring some of that to camera right now. What you get at the bottom of the box, in this little recess here, let me show you, in amongst all the leopard skin, is a little bag. Don't know if you can hear that. In this bag are some tokens and dice, Curioso and Curioso. And the reason for the die and the tokens is because you actually are given a game. Where? Here, inside. The game is called Rumble in Brighton. Ah, memories, eh? So isn't that cute? Very nice. So a lovely package overall, a very sort of fun box set with a bit of whimsy sort of thrown in for good measure. The reason I like the Stray Cats as a band, as an entity, is because they live their, not only do they live their music, they live their image. I interviewed Slim Jim Phantom, who's the drummer of the band, going back a little while now. But he told me that basically when he decided, when he was a kid, to go down this route, this revival rockabilly route, I think he'd found the music, or Elvis had found him, I think. And but he found other music too, Eddie Cochran people like that. And it just enthralled him to the point where he went down to town, he bought his clothes, his rockabilly clothes. He basically left the clothes he'd taken off. He just left those in a changing room, dumped them, walked out the door, never to return. He had a new image. He was devoted to it. So unlike some bands almost are kind of, I don't know, like a pantomime outfit where they'll go to a venue, they'll dress up in their gear, they'll apply their makeup, they'll do their hair, they'll go out, ta-da, they'll do their gig, they'll come off, they'll strip off, they'll get back in their normal clothes and they'll go home. But not the Stray Cats. They sort of live and breathe the whole rockabilly thing. And I admire that. It's just a devotion to duty, isn't it, really? But, you know, they believe in their music and they love their music. And that's something I admire. So the 7-inch single, which I have for you, is from Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark. It's a reissue of their very first single, Electricity. It has Almost as a B-side. And this particular one was directly sent to me from the band's website. And here it is. So that's that. And here's the B-side. Whoops. There you go. Bring that back a little bit. And it's on clear vinyl. It's a little download slip. But as you can see, clear vinyl. Interestingly, this is on a factory label, FAC 6, number 6. This one has been remastered, or Electricity, the track Electricity. I don't think the B-side has. No, the B-side Almost is a Vince Clarke remix, incidentally. But the A-side Electricity has been remastered by Miles Shoal at Abbey Road. Now, Miles Shoal is a highly respected, I love the guy to bits personally. I've interviewed this guy a couple of times. He's an expert in half-speed mastering. I don't know if this has been half-speed mastered because it doesn't sound the rear. And that intrigues me. Normally, if Miles has been involved, the item has been half-speed mastered. But because it doesn't say that on here, maybe it hasn't been. Anyway, if Miles has touched it, it's going to sound good. I'm going to give it a quick listen anyway to check it out. And we're looking at the mastering and pressing for all of the news items I've looked at today. Pressing, well, good news. All of them are okay. There's no particular issues there, so that's fine. Mastering, the ear music classic albums. Well, firstly, all of these albums are live, and live albums all have issues. They all have compromises. You take music out of the studio, you can't control it. You can't control all the frequencies. They're all over the place. They're uneven. They're emphasized where they shouldn't be, de-emphasized when they shouldn't be. Vocals are all over the shop. And it's a bit of a mess. To control a live event is very difficult indeed. And what you're really looking at instead with a live album is audience sort of interaction, pure energy, the immediacy of the live recording. They become more prominent rather than the quality of the sound. So if you can get a good sound quality from a live album, it's a bit of a bonus. What ear music has done, they've obviously controlled, they've added some discipline to the overall mastering. It's all it's all quite low noise, no compression as such that I can hear. You can really pump up the volume and you will not get any upper mid-range edge at all. Quite bassy, quite sort of slightly warm-ish, maybe a touch less air on some of the older recordings like The Who and relatively so Gary Numan. Slightly more air on the more recent Yes recording. But I think what they've done on the mastering level, I could be completely wrong on this, is they've just imposed a bit of discipline just to keep control of the frequencies for these live recordings. As I say, they've lowered the noise way down so you can really push the volume. Basically what you get is quite an authoritative, confident recording with punch and energy and a bit of vigor. Thumbs up though, very good, very well recorded, and I heartily recommend these recordings on an audiophile level. As for the Stray Cats, I would say BMG have done a really good job. There's extra air and space in the soundstage. There's punch. There's immediacy in the mid-range. Bags of detail. Some great clarity. And thumbs up with that. Oddly enough, the one that really grabbed me for this particular suite of tests was the 7-inch. I think Miles Showell has done a tremendous job on this one, which is a full suite of thumbs ups. But on the 7-inch, there's so much air and space. 7 inches are really tough to do well. They're a poor relation in terms of audiophile formats. The 7-inch format, generally speaking. But this particular one, especially Miles' Electricity remaster, excellent. Lots of transparency and clarity again. Detail by the shovelful. Really kicks into that old retro synth feel, and a great job. So all of these recordings highly recommended in terms of audiophile sound, and go get them, folks. Hope to see you on the next video. Until then, I'll see you soon. Bye bye bye.